you what, it is good to be back home, back in Minnesota, back in Sturgeon Lake. For those of you that don't know, we just spent a little over a week out in South Dakota. We got to tour the 777 Bison Ranch, and we also spent a couple days in the Badlands. Both times we got to see some really awesome animals, and I'm talking about bison, of course, but you know, we got to see antelope and bighorns, prairie dogs, mule deer. I think there was even a rabbit in there somewhere. But we really had an excellent time. We learned a lot at the 777. Thank you to Moritz and the rest of the crew over there for letting us come by. The 2 days in the Badlands, beautiful scenery, lots of bison. But it's always nice to get back home here. Of course, there's work to do around this place as well. I know what you're thinking, you know, I spent a day at the 777, we spent 2 days in the Badlands. Hey, your math isn't adding up, Ron. You said you were gone over a week. Well, that's true. We did other things out in the Badlands as well, or rather I should say I did. As a lot of you know, I am an amateur fossil hunter. I go out to South Dakota once or twice each year to dig up fossils with a friend of mine, Walter Stein. With Paleo Adventures out of Belle Fourche, South Dakota. Spent a week there. In fact, it was Exploration Week 2023 for our little crew. So in today's video, we're going to share some more 777 bison. We're going to share some more Badlands bison, but as a little change of pace, we're going to share a little bit of dinosaur digging too. Hope you guys enjoy it. As you can see, some of the leaves are starting to change already. We're still pretty much in a drought here, as you can see. The pond is pretty much dried up. So we had to come up with an alternate solution. And it seems to be working. Hey, Piper, what are you doing? Oh, yoga doggy. Oh, yeah. Yoga puppy. Come here. Oh, there you go. Yeah, the puppy. Well, look who else is out this morning. Now we have made some progress around this place. We extended our 7-foot fence over to this corner post right here. I get my finger in there. We replaced some of the barbed wire, which is always a bonus. Now we moved our feed trough over here temporarily because we are going to start work on this part of the new fence, which means we have to run a temporary fence basically from that corner over there to that pine tree right there. That will enable us to utilize the wooden rails from that fence as we bring them forward and start putting them in place along these new posts. We still got some posts to put in, but hey, you know, taking a week off or so to play kind of cuts into the work time. You've been getting into the pickers. Oh, oh yeah. Scratches. We like scratches. When we were out in South Dakota, we had the unique opportunity to tour the 777 Bison Ranch just outside of Hermosa. This is a big ranch, 28,000 acres, 2,200 animals. Moritz, the ranch manager, not only gave us an excellent tour of the facilities, but explained to us exactly how they handle that many animals. Some of it was pretty complicated, and I can tell you, a lot of it was over my head. For now, but, hey, we're learning. And after a tour of the handling facilities, he took us out in the field where we got to see some of these animals. And if you haven't seen the video already, check it out. It was an amazing experience. It seemed like we had barely gotten there, and then it was time to leave. So we said goodbye to Moritz and the 777 Ranch, hopefully not for the last time, and headed off to the Badlands National Park. That trip was just as awesome. 2 days of searching through the park for bison. And we weren't disappointed. Much like a Top Gun fighter pilot. And it didn't take us long to spot bison in the distance. And before we knew it, we were up to our eyeballs in bison. And we were definitely up to our eyeballs in bison. They were everywhere. Although it does help to kind of know the park a little bit and kind of know where to find them in the first place. We saw some absolutely gorgeous animals. And a number of times, we got pretty close. And the entire time surrounded by absolutely breathtaking scenery. The temperature was a little bit hotter than I would have liked. It was like 105 degrees when we were out there, but overall, absolutely gorgeous days. But just like the 777, eventually it came to an end, and we had to leave. But our adventure wasn't over, at least for me it wasn't, because my next stop was Belle Fourche, South Dakota, the home base of Paleo Adventures, and my paleontologist friend, Walter Stein. Belle Fourche is located in western South Dakota. It's got a population of about 5,000 people, and it's about 135 miles from the Badlands. If you're looking for a once-in-a-lifetime adventure, book a dig with Paleo Adventures. It's rated as one of the top things to do in Belle Fourche and the surrounding areas, and I highly, highly recommend it. Paleo Adventures was started in 2005 by Walter Stein, a paleontologist with over 25 years of experience. You'll start your tour at the field station in Belle Fourche, where you'll learn about some of the dinosaurs you're going to be looking for. You'll also receive a crash course in field safety. Make sure you pay attention. They don't want anybody getting hurt out there. You'll also learn about the Hell Creek Formation. This is a geological layer of gravel and sand that formed during the Cretaceous period. So your odds of finding a piece of Triceratops or even a T-Rex tooth are pretty good. Before long, you'll be heading into the field to dig up dinosaur bones. Make sure you bring your water and your sunscreen. Walter is an amazing teacher out in the field. You're going to learn a lot.
Looks like a tip of a Premax tooth, but that is definitely Tyrannosaurus Rex.
He'll show you the best places to dig, how to identify the fossils you've found, and if you're lucky, how to protect the fossils in a plaster jacket so they can be transported back to the field station for prep.
Well, right here we have what I believe to be a scapula. In this case, this end here looks like a scapula or a shoulder blade. Probably from an Edmontosaurus, which was a big duck-billed dinosaur, hadrosaur, very common in these rocks. And what I've done is I've carved the sand around it so that the bone is sitting up higher on a pedestal of rock. The next step is to cover this with foil to protect it, and then we'll make a plaster jacket that goes over the top of it. First we add water, next we add plaster. Runny mud, or I said pancake batter, probably a good analogy. This bucket is not the best for this, but it is what it will do. Okay, too much water. Next, I am laying down strips of burlap, soaking them in the plaster of Paris. We want to get that strips of burlap nice and tight around that bone. We don't want there to be any way for that bone to move in transport. So we want to have that pretty well packed in there. We want to get as far along the bottom edge as possible. I like to fold up the edges so the edges are nice and clean and neat. Voila, one plaster jacket.
Okay, go.
Okay. It's all moving, so this is the moment of no return. Ding, 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 ding.
Nice.
Yep. You can see I didn't quite get deep enough, but the bone was good enough shape that it was okay, and there wasn't any roots growing up through it. So you can see that edge of that scapula is right there. So we'll have to get some glue and stabilize that, but
once they are secure in a plaster jacket, the bones are removed from the dig site and transported back to the lab.
Your fingers clear?
These bones have been in the ground for 65 million years or more, but they're still pretty fragile, so we have to be careful. And after that, the fossils are cleaned and prepped. Now, generally, the public isn't involved in this part, but it's still pretty cool to see. Now, digging up dinosaur bones is serious work, but there's still time for fun, too. Maybe some a little more than others. But despite the shenanigans, it's still an amazing adventure. One you'll be talking about for years. You'll find some amazing fossils, and at the same time, get to experience some absolutely breathtaking scenery. Well, folks, that's our episode for today. We hope you enjoyed it. Our little recap on the 777 Bison Ranch, as well as the Badlands National Park, as well as some highlights of paleo adventures. And on a personal note, I'd just like to say thank you to Walter Stein and his family for allowing us to share all of that. And also, thank you for 10 plus years of awesome paleo adventures. Strongly recommend that you check out their website, Facebook page, and their YouTube channel, Paleo Adventures. And speaking of channels, if you haven't done so already, hit that little subscribe button down below. It shows your support and helps motivate us to make more videos. We'll see you guys next time.